Gibberpish podcast.
Well, we might not be Little Jon Snow, but we're ready to talk about Gibberpish, aren't we, Dom?
Yes, we are. That was my find of the week. That brightened my Halloween.
I don't participate much in Halloween. I especially don't do costumes or parties or whatever.
I think that's for me, that stopped around about 14, 15. I just could not give a fuck about Halloween from that age onward.
But I'd love to be at the party that Little Jon Snow was at. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, we're sure to post a link to this through Twitter.
Is good. The minute we wrap this episode, I'm posting this on Twitter.
Yeah, they have, it was an African-American fan of Game of Thrones decided to go to a Halloween party as Little Jon, as Jon Snow.
And what can only be described as the best hybrid costume I've ever seen. It brightened my night, because as I hinted to on Twitter, I had a shit Halloween. I spent most of it on my phone.
Right.
Because it was a very, very boring Halloween party. Even to the point where I started drinking, just to make the monotony go a bit better.
Hot damn, you've been off the wagon for a while, so that must have taken some doing.
To be honest, it's weird. You know how people say that your tolerance drops when you've been off it for a while? I was like 7, 8 beers back and I was like, shit, I'm fine. I'm invincible. If I had 9 beers, I've probably been on the floor chewing my own face.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was scrolling down my Facebook and it was like 10 costumes that have to be seen to be believed, and one of them was Little Jon Snow, and I pissed myself laughing because you get people going, oh, I'm slutty Joker or I'm slutty Harley Quinn. This guy thought...
No such thing as a slutty Harley Quinn.
True.
Apparently, by the way, that's the most searched costume after Halloween. People just want to look at Harley Quinn by various blonde ones.
I can believe that, yeah. I mean, given the amount of cosplayers I've been doing Harley Quinn nowadays, especially with the Suicide Squad Harley coming out.
Luna Laney's just thrown her hat into that ring. I quite like Luna Laney, and she's definitely nailed it.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Lindsay at least to do it. I don't think she will, though. She's going to take a step back for the old cosplay.
It's off con season, so there's not really much reason for them. I mean, it's literally con season has just wrapped up in America, so all the big ones have done. They now have the chance to just kind of sit back, relax, regain, I mean, cons are exhausting for people who are there as the entertainment or the people you want to go and see. I mean, I've been to a few conventions where, as someone who's going, just fucked at the end of the day, one or whatever.
You come home and you're just like, oh, I'm gonna go out and do this. No, you don't have the energy for it. You just get so exhausted.
But the guys who are there, the guys and girls who are there as kind of entertainment, or as people you'd like to meet, or people who are doing something during that convention, must be fucked. Yeah. So this is a chance for them to recoup, maybe work on new things. They get to watch all the stuff that's coming out over the winter and then the summer, and then they get to do the cons afterwards.
Yeah, especially if we've got a bit of an online presence like Negri, because she'll do her con stuff, then come back and she'll do some videos, and then that's got to be a huge thing. Then after that, she's got to go and work with, I think, the company that makes Supersonico, because I'm thinking that's come back for another season. That even though it didn't come over too well, it done well enough to want another season, so she'll probably go back to do that again. Alright,
I was quite impressed by the fact that she'd managed to get herself into the role of that through both the attention of her cosplay and the fact that she's very, very into the character. Like, it's not a thing that she's doing for life.
It's not something she's sweeping under the carpet. She loves that character unabashedly.
You don't have a 4-foot statue of Supersonico unless you fucking love Supersonico. It's impressive. It's a nice statue. But weird thing as well, I didn't know she's actually in some Rooster Teeth stuff. I didn't know.
She'd done the kind of, I don't want to say the circuit, but she'd done her rounds on the social media.
Rooster Teeth Network, yeah.
Yeah, she'd done a few SourceFed videos, because they do SourceFed plays where they play like Cards Against Humanity, Super Fight. She's done a few of those. She's done a couple of the Philly DE vloggy videos, and she's on Rooster Teeth quite a bit because I don't think she stays too far away from Austin.
She is nearby as far as I know that Lindsay Ellis is like Arizona or something like that.
Yeah.
And then
I don't know my American geography too well, so Arizona could be the other side of the universe for all I know.
It's closer than us. Yeah. I'll give them that. But the weird thing is that she not only she's played Pink Spartan in one episode of Red vs. Blue, where
she's also in Ruby as well.
She is a huge part of Ruby now.
She's a villain in Ruby as well.
I just finished like a marathon of Ruby. I watched it all in one day and fell in love with the show after hearing so much about it. The show is, for me, it's kind of plagued by the kind of overhype thing. I'm really sensitive to overhype, and it has ruined my perspective on so much. But this is one of those things where, unfortunately, the creator of the show died. Monty Oum was an animator, and he was a big part of Red vs. Blue's newer seasons, where it's motion capture versus just in-game engine kind of movements. they can kind of do motion capture and then reskin the points that they get with a Spartan. So they will do like a majority of the show in-game as machinima, which is obviously just in-game footage used for the purpose of the movement with voiceover, and then they will do fight scenes and really like a lot of the stuff they do is kind of martial arts kind of fighting, because one thing that doesn't really come across that well in the older Halo games is that Spartans are fighting / killing machines, and as someone who just watched some Halo 5, they're getting there and explaining the fact that a Spartan knows Kung Fu, motherfucker. Not only are they covered in a suit of really high powered armour, but they would whoop your ass out of the armour as well. So Monty was really a big part of them transitioning into this motion capture style, and has done some phenomenal work from that. But he was approached about doing something else. Somebody said, "Is there anything else you want to do? You mean from what I've heard, the man was a creative genius. Like he was like taking in so much and then interpreting that his own way and then firing it back out, but never really got to do it." Ruby was one of his passion projects, and unfortunately he died due to complications with anesthesia after what should have been a simple surgery. And unfortunately we're now missing him, but the show was allowed to go on. He passed on notes, he passed on like loads of ideas to the guys who were running the show. It's currently under the kind of guardianship of Miles Luna and Kerry Shawcross, who are directors. They both worked really close with Monty before he died, and they just do a fantastic job of bringing the same characters back, the same style of humour, because they were writing and directing episodes with Monty. So it's not like you're saying, oh, we handed it off to these two young dumbasses who don't know what they're doing. No, we're handing it off to a part of the family who respect what's happened before, know what to do with it, and were there when it happened the first time, and then know what to do going forward from their own ideas / notes from the original content creator.
I know there was a big what to do about like how are we going to continue this. People were just quite happy to have the first season, or was it first or second season that he done?
First two seasons he was directly involved in, and I think he died after season 2 because I think they got through the end of season 2, then he went in for surgery, complications,
that's
and then a coma, and then he passed on, sadly. And they were worried about starting season 3, but I think the idea was, we love Monty, it'd be a shame to not see the idea come through. And
I did hear that he, even though there was only up to season 2 done, he'd written a whole other like 3 or 4 seasons.
Oh, it's kind of like that.
He'd written a whole lot of it.
It's kind of like that thing where your mate comes up to you and say, I want to do a D&D session. Do you DM? And you go, yeah, I DM occasionally. Do you have anything we could do? I mean, really want to play at some point, like next couple of weeks. Could you come up with a story? And you pull out the folder of, here's the world I've created. Bang! And it's like a foot-thick thing of just notes about like random shit that no one's ever going to find about the world. That like there's a tribe that has a random cult, and that's part of a death god scenario where you've like expanded the world out so much. And he was apparently working on this for years. A lot of the behind the scenes footage they released is him just like saying, I had these ideas for these concepts, and it's stuff we might never see, we might see, we don't know, but it's really well animated. You're a fan of anime, right?
It comes and goes, because I've been recently, obviously I'll always be a fan of Dragon Ball Z, Gundam Wing, and other animes like Cowboy Bebop and Big O, but modern anime kinda annoys me now, because it's become so formulaic and so predictable, which is the complete opposite to why I got into anime in the first place, because Gundam Wing was unusual. I'd never seen anything like this before. It was 5 kids who had essentially death machines, and they affected the whole course of a war. Then you go to Dragon Ball, it's one man stopping an intergalactic like warlord. It was unusual, but now you go to animes like Naruto, and it's always the good guy wins, the bad guy loses. There's no complications with it. The stories all follow this one singular narrative. There's no like twist in the road, and if there's a twist in the road, it's there for a couple of episodes, then it's back to normal because the heroes came back in and he has sorted it. So I've had kind of a love-hate relationship with anime.
I guess you're kind of like me, where you indulge more in a kind of shonen style of stuff, where it's all more masculine, it's more stuff. I think Ruby would be a good chance for you to break that with, and I'm going to say stuff that you're going to hate, but I'm just going to say it anyway. It is one of those things where it is quirky, lovable, slightly feminine, and just very enjoyable, as opposed to being like, this is a dead serious drama movie that we made in an anime format. Love it or hate it, we don't give a shit. This the show does a great effort of making kind of leaps out to just kind of a more emotional side of you that you don't really want to acknowledge as a gang, but they do go for it and say, we want to make you engage with these characters so that when something goes wrong with the characters, you're worried. Like, I got halfway through season 2, and then at one point, one of the characters is isolated from the group. She is just randomly gone due to just an accident that's not her fault in any way. And I was thinking, how the hell is she going to get out from this? And you just look at it and go, oh yeah, wow, I just connected with a character, an animated character who I'm obviously never going to meet because she's not real.
Yeah,
but
she's digital.
She's digital. She's not real. She's a drawing.
She's a drawing, bro.
She a drawing, bro. And
you know who real though? That Liam Neeson though.
That Liam Neeson though.
Gotta do them suicide.
Yeah. I did that Liam Neeson though.
That Liam Neeson though.
But yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I think it really appealed to you because although it is feminine and quirky, it is still action packed. And
as long as it's not Sailor Moonish, I'm fine. Because to me, if it's a girly anime, it's Sailor Moon in my eyes.
No, this is much more kind of grown up and looking at some real issues. For example, there's a very obvious racial undertone to like a certain group of humanity, and it's not like a social justice thing. It's a case of who's the right person here. You know, it's a look at everyone. Some people see the world as black and white. What happens when you take that and shatter their perception of right and wrong because they've had one perspective their entire life and never even thought about the other side of it? Takes it, although it's kind of can be immature a lot of the time, can take that little kind of mature twist and work with it and just kind of run with it. It does a very good job of it. I'd recommend Ruby to anyone. It's free to watch on YouTube. Apparently it's on Netflix as well.
Yeah, there's Blu-rays as well.
Yeah, there's the Blu-rays. I'm going to get them. I'm not going to lie. It's on I order in batches with this type of thing, so I might just go and say, oh, I'm buying some other stuff. I might as well grab this and this and this and this. And hey, why's my credit card declined? And this and this and this.
Why do I have 0.0 pounds in my account? Fuck, I have no money.
Shitballs.
The way you described it there about the immaturity, but also the emotion, it sounds to me what I wanted Avatar: Legend of Korra to be. I wanted her to be this. I realise I'm the Avatar, but I'm going to be silly about it. Like in the first series, The Last Airbender, Aang, he realised he is the Avatar. He's essentially what can solve this, what can end this war. He's the full stop for this entire situation. But in Legend of Korra, she is everything but mature, and she abuses the fact that she's the Avatar, and it gets very, very grating at that point. You're kind of thinking, could you just get killed by the main villain, then restart the next Avatar cycle? Some other child can get the power of the Avatar.
Yeah.
Just get off the screen. But it takes its while, it takes its time, because the first season of Legend of Korra, you hate Korra. Korra's a spoiled little brat who abuses her power. Then season 2...
Why do I have to save the world?
Why do I have to be the Avatar? Can't I just be a waterbender that shoots fire at her hands? She abused... That's another thing that bugged me. She was a waterbender. She was proficient in the style of waterbending, but she used fire and earth more than she did anything else. It was meant to be some symbolism crap, but it kind of annoyed me. You've mastered waterbending, but you use your elemental opposite, which will be not as strong as your waterbending. But
imagine that though. You show up with the waterbending style, you crack out the waterbending poses to warm up, and then suddenly, volcano from your hand.
Just fireballs.
Hota!
Like you're sitting there doing your warm-up Tai Chi and all of a sudden, mountain!
Yeah.
Just out of the ground. But yeah, it was meant to be symbolism, like how hot-headed she was and how she...
The world's stealthiest mountain. Hota!
Mountain out of nowhere. Speaking of mountain, actually, did you see there was a video circulating on Facebook of a
UFC guy sparring
Conor McGregor, who is my height, 5'6", 5'8"-ish,
right?
Fighting Hafthor Julius Bjornsson, who is the
Is that the current mountain?
That is the current mountain. Because
the current mountain is scarier than any other mountain that I've come across.
Because he's 24. He's our age.
Yeah.
That's fucking scary.
Somebody did say that to me. I was like, this guy's 24 and you're 24. How do you reckon you stack up? And I'm thinking, well, that guy broke a Viking legend, and I kind of sat up too fast and thought I broke my spine. Yeah. So, I got
winded running up the stairs. He probably gets winded running to Canada from where he stays.
Yeah. So
dude's a fucking monster, and like it was quite funny just seeing this 5'8" Irishman jabbing the mountain in the side, and him just going like that, twatting his hands away, just going, no, stop it.
He's Irish. He's probably drunk.
At one point, he picks him up with one hand.
Or he'll take your hand. He'll fucking fuck you up.
Put me down, you mountain. I'll fuck you up, you cunt.
Might not want to yell that much in Irish because I may be going to an Irish wedding at some point. I'm not sure.
I love the Irish.
Love the Irish. Yeah. They're my favourite non-Scottish people.
They're my favourite Celtic nation apart from the Welsh. They're third. Scotland's always going to be favourite Celtic nation. Then it goes Irish, Welsh, because they beat us at rugby, so I can take them or leave them.
Yeah, well, and we'll just kind of we'll not. It's the thing with the Celtic nations. we've kind of been turned against each other, but we just sit and nod appreciatively across the table.
Raise our pint tankards.
Yeah, right then. You fuck you up, we'll have this point first. Then we'll see what's happening.
Oh, fuck, the English are coming. Let's all band together. Fuck you, England.
I'm waiting on that one happening. The English really pissing off every Celtic nation and just landing deep in the shit. But real quickly, Ruby, I think it might be your jam. It's got enough of a light-hearted tone to it that you're not gonna, like, nobody's being bratty, and if they're being bratty, it's for a second.
Yeah, there's a comedic purpose to it.
Yeah, it's comedically written, but the action is kind of, I don't think I've ever really seen anything like this before, because again, it goes with that mocap style, and there's some issues with that. I've seen a couple of clips, because I'm looking at it from a weird, like, kind of obsessive-compulsive perspective, where I see someone just kind of, an armour plate twitches slightly into cloth, and I'm like, I got you, motherfucker, I saw it!
Clips through the cloth.
Yeah, I watched, and I really enjoy it. I'm willing to, the characters justify it.
Yeah. I'll give it a look at some point. It's finding the time.
Finding the time.
Yeah.
Near impossible. We had like several segues of it. I was thinking, I want to talk about that, And I think the mountain might have been part of it. I don't remember what it was though anymore.
I just want to raise the point of a 5'8" Irishman taking on the mountain, who's about, it's safe to say he's about 7 foot tall or something.
Yeah,
he's huge.
Damn, yeah, he's in the high 6 foot.
Yeah.
At least.
Yeah. I just thought it was pretty funny imagery. In fact, that guy will probably get a role in Game of Thrones at some point. Just like, oh, you were in Game of Thrones. Hey, I like Game of Thrones. Can I be in the show? Jesus, land of God, put us in the show, won't you? Just shows up with a leprechaun suit and winks at a smile. Yeah, here's me, put me in the fucking show.
Yeah, Jamie Lannister, sorry about all the shit that's happened to your family. But I'm lucky. Why just fill me head up a bit?
Jesus, you don't fuck your sister, do you? You dirty bastard.
I'm a bit annoyed that you ruffle me hair. I feel kind of dirty now. Who's got a shower?
Tyrion Lannister, get away from me, pot of gold, you fucking leprechaun.
What happens if a Lannister steals a pot of gold from a leprechaun?
I don't know.
Interesting.
They'd have to pay their debts.
Because they stole it, so technically they owe it back. But can you give a pot of gold back to a leprechaun? We may have a conundrum on our hands, sir. If you for some reason have the answer to that weirdly specific question, please feel free to tweet us at Gibberpish.
Or drop us an email at gibberpish@outlook.com, because it's a fucking head scratcher.
I'm fucking stumped.
Yeah. But then again, the Lannisters have taken
They've stolen a lot, and they
in
haven't
Westeros.
paid back dick, so...
Yeah. I mean, they owe the Tyrells, but like several billion crowns.
Yeah, it's weird that the idea of...
Or is it gold dragons, whatever the hell they use?
I think it just might be crowns. I'm not entirely sure. But it is a weird thing with the economy of that world that people would just keep lending to the Lannisters and know that they're in shit situations and just kind of never expect to get it back, and will just use that as a reason to declare war and then just kind of let it slide.
Yeah.
Or we'll just be like, we'll get it back eventually. Like, I won't get it back, but my grandson will get it back.
Do you think they just show them the Lannister crest? Just like, we always pay our debts, man. Come on, bro. Okay.
We told you we pay our debts back, and you're like, that's because you picked up the tab 20 years ago. I'm not willing to give you 100,000 gold crowns.
You think that's how they got we always pay our debts? Because at the end of it, like, big Jimmy Lannister just went, oh, put your wallets away. This round's on me. And that's how he got the Lannister always pays his debts bullshit.
Just a room full of, like, the other families. One member from everyone, the other was going, and Jimmy's eye, you know what? Jimmy always pays his debts.
Oh, Stark. Then stop giving him shite. Lannister always pays his debts. Fuck's sake.
I'm waiting on the Game of Thrones spin-off for something. I think we've mentioned the fact there might be a movie. I'm not sure what the rumours are now. The rumours change every week because the rumours.
The last one I heard was they were going to do the next season. We just passed season 5, didn't we?
Season 5 just finished.
Yeah, season 5 just ended. They're going to do...
And season 6 cannot get here soon enough.
Season 6 is going to start or be in post-production soon. Then they're going to do a movie. Then they're going to go back to the seasons. They're going back to do another 2 seasons. Then probably end it with a movie. That's the last I heard.
Game of Thrones is one of those things that I enjoy how much it brings everyone together. I really do like the fact that I can go into work and talk about a fantasy series with no fear of getting a wedgie as a nerd from childhood. It's always a kind of fear that I have that at some point someone is going to just pull my underwear up my ass. But going into work and being able to talk about just a fantasy series where there's dragons and weird like zombie things, love the hell out of it. But I can't stand the social media kind of aspect of it, the spoiler culture, the fucking random rumours because it's the biggest show on television and will be until it finishes. Nothing's going to try and step to Game of Thrones until it's finished. And just the fact that somebody showing up in a country can result in like it being a top trending news story. Like Jon Snow shocks Game of Thrones theorists by showing up in Ireland. Like, there's any number of reasons to go to fucking Ireland.
You could just be there for a holiday or something.
Yeah, I mean, it's
although
like,
if you're making Game of Thrones money and you can go any other places and you film, or you had been filming in Dublin or Ireland for that many years, why would you go back to Ireland for a holiday?
to be fair, when it comes to Americans, European countries, especially if, you know, it's Ireland, Scotland, and Germany for some reason gets this as well.
Yeah.
If you go there once, you kind of fall in love with it for some reason. No reason why, but they just kind of seem to have like an affinity for certain countries, and it's one of the things of the idea that you'd fall in love with a country. Oh, I love its people, I love its culture, I love its...
Although for us, it's mainly the accent that brings people back.
No, people love the idea of Scottish culture, and you're like, there fucking is none.
Yeah, we don't have culture. We drink. That's what we do.
We drink and we steal American culture like one day after it releases in America.
And do it better more often than not. We took hot dogs to completely a different level.
Haggis hot dogs.
Oh, they're the fucking nuts. But I can't stand like normal like store-bought hot dogs because they're reconstituted chicken parts made to look like sausage. It needs to be proper like sausage meat in.
Yeah, I somebody had a discussion today at work about what happens to your meat. Like, is your meat respected when it's being processed? At which point I just turn and go, I don't give a shit. I just love eating meat, because there's the big rumour right now, or the big news right now, that meat could be classed, or has been classed by the World Health Organization. I'm having a serious problem with the words today. Not a good idea to have on podcast day, a serious problem with words.
Yeah, but we'll chalk that up to it being later than we usually record.
No, it's been going since about 2 in the afternoon, so I just haven't been able to get words out of my mouth. But yeah, for some reason the World Health Organization has classed it as a class 1 carcinogen, up there with tobacco, to the point, and annoyingly, all of the clickbait titles read, bacon gives you ass cancer, because there are theories about it going through the colon and having a serious impact on how the cells work, and then how they process not only the meat, but then have issues outside of that. And it's been a clickbait title. I want to go in and read it and just be like, oh, you guys are all being misled. But yeah, we had somebody pull up the whole vegetarian argument earlier at work. I was just like, I don't care.
It's the vegan argument that pisses me off. It goes back to there was an article I read online. If there was a death date on your meat, would you then eat that piece of chicken? But yeah, because then if I see the death date, I'll be like, oh, that was killed a week ago. That was killed 2 weeks ago. I'll go for the fresher meat. That's a pretty good idea. That should go ahead. Vegan argument, quashed.
Yeah, and I get better meat. And more meat gets wasted because I only want the better meat. I did enjoy that. I think I saw that come up from like Tumblr or something like that, and I just laughed my ass off at somebody being just utterly destroyed on a whole vegan-vegetarian argument. Yeah. The vegan-vegetarian thing just kind of stumps me a little bit. You're designed to deal with both. You might as well enjoy both. Not? With brown sauce, of course.
I'm more of a red sauce guy.
Ladies and gentlemen, the podcast just ended forever. We're not going to tolerate your kind around here.
Dude. That's a big thing in my house, because you've had stovies before, Scottish dish of square sausage and potato.
I had those this weekend, actually.
Yeah, everyone else but fucking me. My family done the same thing. They went out on Saturday. I'm saving up to buy a new phone, so all money is staying in my fucking account unless I need it to go to college.
Right.
Buying a new phone, didn't go out this weekend. Mum and Dad come back in. They say, oh, you had a fantastic meal at this wee pub. And I said, oh, what'd you have? And I said, oh, we all got beer. I'm like, right, you're skipping around the question. You had something that I would have fucking liked. Tell me what it was. And went, oh, we had a beautiful bit of cheesecake for dessert. I was like, tell me what I had for your main course. And stories. It's like, you son of a bitch.
Motherfucker.
One of my favourite meals, and every time it's in the house, there's always a dispute. Do you have pepper in it? Do you not put pepper in it? Do you put onions in it? Do you not put onions in it? But the big debate is red sauce versus brown sauce. Everyone else in my family has brown sauce in stovies. I'm the only heretic that has red sauce in their stovies.
For me, it's a case of, for those of you who don't know, it is basically mashed potatoes with Lorne sausage run through it. Special ways of preparing the Lorne sausage. Different people do different things. It's one of those things where it's just a dish that we all do. People do it differently. I go brown sauce on everything, because when I had braces for like a year and a half, and then was told tomato sauce will fuck you up because it had so much sugar in it. And I went, well, what about brown sauce? Nobody queried it. Nobody was like, well, you shouldn't do brown sauce either. Although now that I think about it, it has vinegar as well as sugar in it. Yeah. Probably worse for your teeth. But nobody queried it. I went with brown sauce and just was kind of led into brown sauce through having the braces, and just keep using brown sauce on everything. But yeah, potatoes, I'd have brown sauce. Lorne sausage, I'd have brown sauce. I'd have brown sauce. So why wouldn't I have brown sauce on potatoes mixed with Lorne sausage?
Makes sense.
Yeah, it's one of the things. I will smother brown sauce and everything. Funnily enough, I'm part of a social group from 40k Radio, another podcast, who kind of have shut down production, but the forums still remain because it's a really good community. They actually are producing their own podcast called I need to quickly check this on the podcast app, but a couple of the mods produce a podcast of their own, and one of the guys came over for a recent kind of event that we run every now and again. I think it's every year now, or we just basically rent out a cottage in the middle of England and play board games for a whole week. Absolutely fucking amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's just a chance to hang out with people, especially as someone who lives up in Scotland. I like to meet these guys all the time, so getting to just randomly disappear for a week and just be a complete and utter board game geek, fantastic. The podcast I am talking about is not loading its page on the podcast app. I've been having issues with the iOS, so Pirate Booter Radio is currently running, and it's just a group of the mods from the forum just chatting shit. Really good podcast. It's more, they do it where they all record a conversation while running a Skype call to, talk to each other. Interesting way of doing it. I imagine the editing sucks dick. I know the guy who does the editing, and I just kind of want to give him a slow clap of approval because I wouldn't put up with that shit. Why we record in the same room, basically. I'm not going to lie. One mic source, one audio line. I have to worry about muting the other 5 lines. But one of the guys came over, and he's a Kansas boy, born and bred, loves his barbecue, had never had brown sauce before, lost his fucking mind. Put a little bit of it on a bacon roll, took a bite out of it, reopened the bacon roll, emptied the fucking bottle on the bar.
Fucking genius.
I love you, Alan, you crazy son of a bitch. But yeah, brown sauce all the way. I can't think of people. I know a lot of people who just go nuts for tomato sauce, but it's too sweet, too sugary. I like that.
It's very rare that I have tomato sauce, to be honest, but it is my preferred choice. I'm not that big a sauce guy anymore. I usually just go the dry burger. Yeah, that sounds slightly strange, but yeah, fuck it.
I go dry burger too because I think we should be challenging chefs to cook meat in a way that stands on its own, regardless of sauce.
Yeah, Witherspoons are getting pretty bad for that. They usually do. I love Philly cheesesteaks, which is just a baguette or like a Subway roll steak covered in melted cheese. But Witherspoons put some weird manky sauce all over it and serve you the cheese on the side. I said, no, can I just get the steak and then the device to make it?
A Philly cheesesteak sandwich is cheese and steak prepared as it would be in Philadelphia, with the steak cut thin and cheese on the top of it. That's how we do.
Witherspoons can't make it. I've given up on Witherspoons because they can't do a decent macaroni. I've had al dente macaroni.
Why are you having macaroni at a fucking bar?
Because everything else in there is shite. I'd given up. The chicken burger bit me back. It actually was stretchy. The Philly cheesesteaks were shit.
I live in a cartoon world, so I just get the image of you biting into a chicken sandwich or burger, and then just stretching out, and then the burger just kind of elastic and just slapping you in the face.
Remember those scenes in Scooby Doo when he would eat the cold pizza and it was just the cheese would stretch out for fucking miles? That's what it was like. This thing was so overdone. I bit into this thing, it was biting me back. It was stretching. So the macaroni was a last ditch effort for Witherspoons. It didn't go well. I took a big massive forkful, put it in my mouth, and it's warm pasta. It's meant to be soft and edible, but it was like chewing a fucking bone. You've ever heard a dog chewing on a bone? Yeah. That's what it sounded like.
You get that nice crunch.
Yeah. I like crunchy food, but not when I'm getting pasta. If it's crunchy pasta, you've done something wrong.
Funnily enough, Wetherspoons helps us transition into our strange regional news section, which will lead to a later section later on. However, strange regional news is that a woman has visited 972 Wetherspoons in the country. A Wetherspoon, by the way, is a kind of franchise bar, and it's basically a kind of standardised bar. Not a bad bar. Kind of it's nothing. You're never going to find anything really eccentric there. You're just going to find the same thing.
It's pretty high quality. You're not talking about a Michelin star pub, but it's good quality. If you've got a couple hours to kill, or you really want to watch the game, just go into Witherspoons, grab yourself a pint, grab yourself a drink, and get something to eat.
I best describe it as a sports bar without the sports.
Yeah, I'd give you that. Yeah,
pretty much just that general atmosphere of it's where you stop for a quick lunch because you're out shopping. It's also where you go with your mates, get really fucked up on a Saturday night because certain pints aren't that pricey and you can drink it because why the fuck not? But yeah, the story is that she began visiting them in I think it was the early 90s. She went out with her husband and was just visiting various Wetherspoons and hit about 600 with her husband before he died, and then took a break for a little while and then just decided to keep going with it. and has now hit 972.
Jesus.
Motherfucker, like...
She must really like what they do.
I think she just one of those people who's like, I'm going to visit the most Weatherspoons right fucking now, and just left and just started doing it. I think it might just be, I mean, think about it. Weatherspoons are located in several different, in like every city up the country, up and down the country. I reckon it's more of an excuse to visit each and every city and then go to the one branded pub in the same place.
I mean, to be honest, in Glasgow there's 3 different Weatherspoons. There's one at the station, there's one in the city, at the city centre itself, and there's another one on another busy city centre, another busy area of the city, near the city centre. So there's quite a few of them.
I know 2, I've been to 2 of them. I'm not competing with the 972 lady, but I wonder if they got into a lot of shit actually for having one on a motorway. Yeah, they tried to put one.
I've seen that one.
Yeah. They're like, it promotes drink driving. I'm like, if you're an idiot, yes, it does promote drink driving. If you ignore every sign and everything you've been taught about not drinking and driving, yes, it does promote alcoholism and drinking and driving. If you're a fucking moron, it comes down to if you're a fucking moron. That you can just go ahead with that. But regional news leads us to Japan versus America.
I think Florida's taking it this week. I have quite a clickbaity title.
Were you foiled by the clickbait?
I was foiled by the clickbait, yeah.
That's why Gibberpish has a firm stance against your fucking clickbait bullshit internet.
Clickbait. It's getting worse. This was the epitome of my weekly search, because we prepare our stories, but it's like an hour before we record this show. We start searching for shit on our phone.
You say an hour, but it literally is a case of you come in here, and as I tell you what the Wi-Fi password is, you're like, Japan weird news.
Weird Japanese
search.
Story. So I got brought in with this weird clickbait story, and it was drunken man assaults humanoid robot, and I thought, this is going to be fucking cool. It was a slightly drunk 60-year-old man in Japan who did not like a clerk's service in a mobile phone store, kicked a helper robot that was there to facilitate this transaction. I thought it was going to be him beating the living crap out, like tearing his arm off. No, he kicked it in the shin. Just booted it in the shin and walked out. Didn't even have to get huckled out by the security. Just walked out.
Can we pause for like a second so I can fill in like a little kind of wah wah noise?
Sure.
And I'll tell you my story. A Florida man robbed a bank with a spatula.
Dude, that's well better than me. I feel ashamed.
Balls to the wall when you go in for a bank robbery in Broward County. Sorry, I can't read.
Broward County.
Police arrested a 33 Broward County man after he robbed a Wells Fargo, which is a type of bank, and committed a home invasion armed with a spatula.
That's metal as fuck, man.
Because fuck your shit with knives and guns, we're going in with a spatula. You don't want to know what he can do with that.
Yeah, that's metal as fuck.
Terrifying. He was arrested on an unarmed robbery charge by Fort Myers Police Department after the home invasion. He was arrested for the robbery by Fort Myers Police Department and the... Oh no, wait a minute. I'm rereading this and didn't quite understand it the first time. It's from Hollywood and was arrested by Fort Myers Police Department and as an unarmed robbery charge, probably for the bank, and the armed home invasion by Lee County Sheriff's Office. So in one situation, the spatula is a deadly weapon, in the other, not so much. It's more of a kind of kitchen utensil for flipping food upside down in a pan. Holy shit. He was apparently nabbed by canine units, so obviously the dogs. Yeah. Somebody unleashed the dogs on a guy with a spatula. He was nabbed 24 minutes after robbing the bank with a spatula. Impressive. You gotta admit, the guy's got like a high bluff bonus to that thing.
He's rolling like perfect 20s every time. He's trying to pass this off as a weapon.
Intimidation. It must be intimidation because that guy does not look charismatic. He must have some bonus through that. But he apparently was arrested in the kitchen. He went inside the house, broke into the house, and then started smoking on the back porch, and then walked back into the kitchen and was arrested by the police officers coming in with canine units. Holy shit. That probably wasn't a good day for that guy, and I'm not entirely sure what the intoxication level is. I mean, what was the intoxication level? Do you get an intoxication modifier on your story?
Well, yeah, it depends how much alcohol you've been taking. It's like one unit of alcohol in game. Your character, nothing really happens to him. 2, he gets a -1 on certain saving throws. If you've got 6 or 7 drinks in you, you can't walk straight. And
I was asking about in your story, how drunk was the guy?
In my story, no, the guy was I think you were asking a D&D story. No. You're not in this.
Are you telling me that you don't think I know D&D intoxication rules?
I was going Pathfinder, so.
Ladies and gentlemen, the podcast is now officially over. Forever. Dom done fucked it up by insulting me.
Okay. Podcast, this week's episode title, Dom ruins the podcast by liking red sauce and talking about D&D.
By assuming that I don't know D&D rules.
Yeah. No, the Japanese guy that assaulted the robot was not even like full blown drunk. We're talking about 4 or 5 beers.
Oh, just a little tipsy.
Not even slightly tipsy. Just tipsy enough to slur his words.
Okay, apparently there's a little twist to this as well. Not only was he armed with a plastic spatula.
It wasn't even a metal spatula, it was a plastic spatula.
Yeah, a plastic spatula. And
balls of steel.
No, but he was also Wolverine because he used the set of keys as a weapon between his knuckles. So this guy was like, I'm going to be Wolverine with a spatula sword.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. Once this guy's intoxication report kind of comes out, toxicology I guess is what it's called, I can't wait to read that because that is pretty methy, I'll be honest.
Yeah, there's some drug abuse in there.
A little bit of methamphetamine just kind of sprinkled over the top of this story. I'm not
blue sky crumbled into his cornflakes.
Goddamn. Yeah, so I'm guessing we're calling it as Florida this one. Because
yeah, Florida wins.
Mine was both Wolverine and mentally damaged.
Mine was just some drunken old man kicking a robot.
Shin kicking a robot as well.
Not even a full punt to the chest, it was a...
Like if he drop kicked the robot, I'd be pretty impressed.
That'd be pretty fucking impressive, but I think I kind of set the bar too high with talking about like poor sales quotes leading to a bunch of like well-trained lawyers crawling about in their hands and knees and then going on to talk about a baby, like adolescent body cell phone. I think I put it up too high.
Yeah, the Elfoid. Still, maybe this is what it is. You start strong, you go low, and then Japan returns in a blaze of dildo glory.
Yeah. Something
involving some kind of sex toy will probably win you the end of the season.
Japan need to make a lightsaber dildo mobile phone so you can call them.
Does it kind of come out of the, like, is the mobile phone and the dildo kind of comes out with the Star Wars noise?
Yeah.
Kind of whoosh,
it does that.
And just kind of, you're sitting there going, I got a text message.
It's actually in the handle of the lightsaber, so you've got the dildo going up here, and it's just
well, you hold the handle, and then
you've got the dolphin rubbing against you. You're like, fuck off.
You get the handle on the side of your head, and then you just kind of you feel the dildo kind of slop on the top of your head. And you're like, I have a text message. Oh, how do you know? I thought you were on the phone with me. Don't ask how I know this.
Is that how you go hands free? There's like a little chain that you click to the other end of the dildo. So you've got this lightsaber dildo rubbed on your head.
Yeah, you just kind of chain it to the tip of the dildo penis, and then you just kind of hold it against your head and go, okay, you know what? I'm free to talk right now.
It's like, no, I cannot send you a picture of what I'm doing right now, Mom. It is fucking weird. How's the new phone? I go, oh, it's great. Best mobile phone I've had in a while. Click.
I'm a bit terrified that you picked this out, Mom.
Why has it got Dad's name on it?
Ew.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Could be worse. Why does it have Uncle Jimmy's name on it?
Who the hell's Uncle Jimmy?
Yeah, first question, who the fuck is Uncle Jimmy?
Is he that guy that... No, it can't be him.
Yeah. Is he that guy who was always there when Dad went away for a walk?
Is he the milkman?
Yeah, Uncle Jimmy the milkman. Oh, jeez. But yeah, you were saying your Halloween party was pretty shit.
Oh yeah, it was fucking atrocious. As you all know, I'm not a big drinker these days. I drank that fucking night just to get over the monotony. This overly opinionated medical student would not stop shouting over the top of people to make sure that she was heard. We were talking about me and my friends. We all play Pathfinder quite regularly. We meet up every 1 week or 2 weeks whenever we can. And I said that to somebody else that I didn't know at the party. And oh, we all play Pathfinder. And she literally over the top of us went, "Oh my god, you play Pathfinder? I have not played Pathfinder in years." And I just said, "That's good. Okay." Then we went back to talking. And I said, we somehow got on the subject of dogs. And I said, oh, I've got a couple of dogs. And she went, oh, dogs are so cute. What kind of dog you got? And I said, literally, I just turned around on the spot and went, oh, you shut the fuck up. You stupid woman. I'm just trying to put my thoughts into the conversation. It's like every time I raise a point, you have to raise a point over me. I'm trying to have a conversation here with people and you just keep jumping in. Shut the fuck up.
This kind of sounds like you may have almost cock-blocked yourself with the easiest one of the century.
No.
Okay, never mind. But yeah, so yeah,
looking at her, I inverted. My penis became a mangina. I was so turned off it went back in.
The word mangina, like everyone uses it as a joke. I have seen a television show featuring a woman or a man who's transitioning into a woman. No, wait, sorry. Woman transitioning into a man, and if you should think of her vagina as a vagina, and instead refer to it as a mangina. We're talking, this is a tattooed biker dude with a vagina who thinks of it as a mangina.
I've always referred
to isn't going to do the switch.
Yeah. I've always referred to mangina as being so turned off by a woman that you go inside.
So for you it's a joke, for me it's an actual traumatizing memory of when I figured out that there were different people in the world and I might not be the normal one. Yeah. There's no such thing as normal because this biker woman is proud of her mangina.
There's no such thing as normal. That's why we have stupid terms like cisgendered and crap like that, but that is a whole other fucking rant itself.
There's like 6 podcasts that ultimately give us those podcasts will be the most downloaded in history, or the most commented on in history. I don't think there'll be any downloads.
Yeah.
Because it would just be Tumblr going, wham, on
Gibberpish bastards, how dare they not be progressionists? But yeah, as the party continued, it was okay, but it was full of what we call over here bandstand kids, who and people in other countries might call scene kids, who just, they dress weirdly and they act very childish and very immature, pain in the ass. One of them had half a bottle of beer and proceeded to fall about the place going, oh, I'm so fucking drunk. And he fell on me, he was like, dude, you look like a lumberjack. Is that your costume? It's like, no, I'm me in a red and black shirt.
Cheers, mate.
Get the hell off me. But no, it was just very bad. I think I'm getting too old for parties now.
We need to go to wine tastings.
Yeah, we need to go to wine and whiskey tastings now. Shit.
What do you mean we're not supposed to drink the whiskey?
Spit bucket, fuck you. Call me a spit bucket. Yeah, I think I need to either find better parties or stop going to parties altogether.
We need to host our own parties in suits, sir. That's the solution.
More parties and suits would probably make me a more rounded individual, because I recently bought a suit just because I had the money.
Alright.
So I thought, fuck it, why not? But then I realised it's a very reverend looking suit. Like, this is the suit you'd go to church and see your reverend wearing. Because one thing I've noticed about normal business suits to reverend suits, all reverend suits have a purple lining on the inside. Mine happens to have a purple lining. So every time this thing blows past, people are like, father. I'm like, I'm not a fucking priest, I'm not a reverend. Law student, man.
Look, we all did the Jesus thing when we were younger, but it doesn't mean I'm a reverend. I like purple. It's a regal colour.
It's a nice suit.
Regal, motherfucker.
I didn't even pick it. I was just thinking, oh, it's a black suit that fits me. Fuck it. I'm taking this one. I tried it on. I tried it on, but didn't see the inlay. But then, apparently, I bought a reverend suit.
I'm not gonna lie. As someone who is capable of lifting a weight in double digits, in this day and age, that kind of singles you out as having to wear a strange size of clothes. It doesn't really exist in mass production.
Yeah, I find myself, even though I'm not a tall guy, I find myself having to go for the bigger sizes just because my deadlift went up to 120 again, so I'm proud of that. Because I keep going in weird bouts. I'll go 6 weeks at the gym, then I'll end up falling back, maybe doing like 5-6 weeks off.
You say that's a weird thing, I reckon it's most people's pattern at the gym. It's the kind of normal thing.
I want to make it more consistent. I want to be just every week at the gym. But yeah, just because certain things that are happening next year, which I'm not at liberty to talk about, even off mic, I need to be in shape for. So.
Are you getting married again?
No, not getting married at all.
It's your third marriage.
It's my third marriage. Consuela, you cunt, you're not getting any of my money.
Well,
why is that instantly got a Spanish wife?
Because why not have a Spanish wife?
Yeah, no.
They're people too, Don.
Yeah. There's things happening that I'm not at liberty to talk about just now. So. It's pretty fucking awesome though. But
you dick.
Closer to the time, I'll let everyone know because a massive smile will be on my face when it does that.
Oh,
it's good. It's good. But yeah, I need to be in decent shape, so I've been going back to the gym, and I just.
If you want to go to the gym, why don't go to the new Excite gym in Linlithgow? Because I went back since they did the remodel.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
Awesome?
It is awesome. It's a warehouse of fun toys that are heavy.
Is it just metal things that you can lift?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Not gonna lie, the when they described it, I looked at the current gym and then the floor plan of the new gym and looked at it and said, don't like the look of it. I just don't think it'll meld well. Nope, it's all cool. It literally is the coolest gym you've ever been to.
It will be made all the cooler if you answer this question correctly. Are there mirrors in the gym?
Only the dumbbell section, which is where all the douchebag hanging out there is good. It kind of it's
it
right in
them
front
all
of
into
the
one
door.
corner.
Yeah, so when you come in on a crazy gun-based massacre, they're all right there at the door.
That is my fucking pet peeve when it comes to people in the gym. I love the people that just come in there, they pick up the weights and they actually work out, but there's people who sit there with not even a heavy weight, what I would describe as a warm-up weight for someone who just starts weightlifting. They're sitting there with 8s or 12s, just going, yep, toning the guns, and they're just taking Instagram photo after Instagram photo.
Congratulations, though, those guys are the most toned people in the gym. Not lifting heavy, though.
Yeah, because they have muscle tone, but it's not going to help them do anything.
Yeah, if I say, hey, can you help me with this fridge? It ain't going to help.
Nah, they're not going to help.
But no, it's okay because the majority of the machines do not look at those people.
Yeah, that's good.
It's kind
as long as I can deadlift away from the selfie douchebags, I'm fine.
You can face the other way when you deadlift. It'll work, and you can use different machines. Like if you don't want the leg press machines looks kind of at them, although it's squeaky dicks. I was on there, was doing my leg press. I have, like at the end of my quick cardio session, I have like a leg press section because, like, it's one of the things of, I don't really sweat during the quick cardio, like just it's like a quick jump on like a treadmill, it's bike and like the cross.
Do you do it as like a cool down? Like you've worked out everything else, just cool down the body naturally with some.
It could be a case of I have an hour, or I have like an hour, so I'll go to the gym, do quick cardio, and then just hit some weights, just to feel good. Or I'll tag it on at the end or something, just to keep burning. Yeah. It's more about just a constant burn of calories, and just to have fun, because, you know, an hour of cardio is shit, but a half an hour of cardio, that's not bad. Not so bad. I can knock that. Yeah. I'm already here at the gym, might as well knock it out. The one of the leg press machines is sitting there and it squeaks, it screams. I had this thing up and we're just doing the same weights as I would normally, and I had my headphones on and I put loud heavy music. I could still hear this damn thing. It was really screaming for it. It was every push up, every push down. Like, oh, holy shit.
Have they upped the stack on that thing? Because every time I went on that leg press, it would only at 120. So I would just have to go full stack every time.
120 kilos?
Yeah.
You haven't been there in a while, mate. The previous machine was up at about 180.
Really?
This one goes up to 190. And
last time I was at the gym, it was the old leg press right in the corner of the room next to the water fountain. And that only went up to 120.
Yeah, you've not been there in a while. The water fountain is on the other side. In the old gym, it was on the other side. This one, it's up the back on the thing as well. They have a new, most of this gym's systems are linked into, like, a progress tracker.
Oh, they still got the wee key things?
It's a decent system, it's not that bad.
Yeah, I find it quite useful.
It's not too intrusive, and the new machines work kind of well with it, and I'm okay with it. But they had, they also do, the display on the weights is now written in pounds as well as kilos, so it helps if you're talking to Americans like I am, and they say, hey man, what are you squatting? And you say, well, I can leg press this, I can squat this. Not all of it's in kilos. Most of it's in kilos. The majority is kilos. But, you know, it's the new gym. There's kind of that rush of, it's a new gym in town. Let's go try it out. Or there's a new gym nearby. Let's try it out. Because there's been like 3 new gyms open in central Scotland in the last 2 weeks. Glasgow had its one that's kind of available to uni students. And I know we had one. And then Falkirk's one opened. I think it's Phoenix Studios. I'm not being there yet.
Falkirk, the one that I've seen in Falkirk was one called Exercise 4 Less.
Yeah, there's a load of cheap gyms opening up.
They boast the largest free weight section in this part of Scotland. It is impressive, but it's always mobbed. I went in there for an induction with a couple of guys for the rugby club, and it's fucking mobbed.
Right.
Like the main gyms in Falkirk are exit. There's an exit in Falkirk, but you have to go out the way. You have to go out of Falkirk and then to Camelon.
Yeah.
And there's Bannatynes, which is an expensive gym, but it is minted, absolutely minted.
I like the exit gyms. It's the right mix of just kind of casual users. Oh, and also here is, you know, if you want to try and squat 200 kilos, here are the weights to do it. Yeah. So yeah, although we did have, it's the usual kind of rush of people using it, including several douchebags who drop weights. This is the thing I never understand about weightlifting culture, the over macho just kind of slamming weights down. Yeah, we get it, mate. You just slammed down the weights, but you're still only just kind of squatting, in double digits. Yeah. If you can drop that at triple digits, be very impressed, because you're doing a weird pose while squatting because you heard about it in Men's Fitness. But at the same time, still not impressed. But yeah, we do get the.
I've seen the dumbest.
I think
their
name is Beach Boys, by the way. Just real quick, it's the guys in tank tops working the arms and abs, and not gonna lie, the arms and the abs look good. But at the same time, you can't lift the fridge. So
and they have incredibly skinny legs. They skip leg day constantly, which is my fucking pet peeve. Just because what I work out for is for rugby, everything needs to be at a certain degree. My legs, upper body, shoulders, arms, all need to be at a certain degree. It's people that are they've got these huge upper bodies, they've got that perfect V, they've got the broad shoulders and the tiny waist, and it's just like fucking cocktail sticks for leg. It bugs my happiness, something chronic.
Yeah. I might in fact be getting into a fitness kick just because Rooster Teeth doing a Buff Buddies thing.
Yeah, I've seen that on Tumblr.
Yeah,
Mike Turney and two other guys.
Yeah, Josh Flanagan kind of kicked it off. He's been there kind of how there's always in some groups there's that guy, it's a guy in a bikini. He's their guy in a bikini.
Yeah, he's
just no shame. He's ex-army actually. He was kicking doors in Iraq during the recent, it was the most recent invasions in Iraq. He was just kicking doors down there and was like, yeah, I used to be in great shape. Not so much now, but I'd like to go back to it. So he's kind of spearheading a kind of fitness campaign. I'm like, you know what? It might be embarrassing to have pictures of myself just kind of post-workout on the internet, but at the same time, doing it as a group might give me the boost to just kind of go the extra mile.
So that was something I've wanted to do now that we do the podcast and I have kind of an online presence. Just something that can have that accountability. Just like, this is not do the post-workout, pre-workout
Dom's thing. Internet famous.
I wouldn't really say we're internet famous. We have a small presence on the internet. Just do a kind of like week 1, this is me fat as fuck. Week 12, this is me looking slightly better. Week 24, I finally dropped 3 stone and now looking.
Week 12, I now smile.
Fuck smiling.
Smiling's for pussies.
Smiling's for bitches.
Smiling's for people, pussies who miss leg day.
Yep, those little beach body motherfuckers.
Yeah, but
I usually call them the snapback brigade because they've always got a fucking. The minute they finish their workout, they put on their jeans and their flowery t-shirts. A lot of flowery t-shirts are going about nowadays. Piss me off. Man up and put us on black. Then as soon as they walk out there, they like flick their hair off and put the snapback on. Fuck snapbacks.
I don't pay attention to them. I ignore them until they just start like trying to grunt while lifting a 30 kilo barbell. Yeah. Like, 10 kilo of that is the bar itself.
I fucking hate that. Like it's when you get the bigger guy of the group who's usually, you can do some pretty heavy weights.
There's always one guy in the group who's actually pretty decent. You look at him and you think, damn, that
he's
guy.
He's usually the taller guy, and he usually has a better beard than most of them.
Yeah.
And he's sitting there doing like 80 kilogram bench press. He's like, I'm going to fucking destroy it this way. I'm going to kill this way. I'm going to fucking destroy this workout. Then you walk in, you're like, this isn't that bad.
It's the grunting that annoys me in the gym. I'm not going to lie. When I'm in the gym, I'm not silent. Sometimes there's something you really can't help yourself, but I'm not grunting until I can't help it, and that takes a bit of weight.
Yeah.
But it was when they're doing, they're always doing some weird, toning definition, isolation of muscles, weirdly specific routine.
Yeah.
And I just kind of watching people as I'm sitting on, it's like the bench press machine. You can now isolate arms, so if you're like left arm is a bit sore, I can just do the right arm push, and then once the left arm recovers, I'll just do the left arm push, because you divide the weight of the machine. It's a pretty good system. I quite like it. There's a set of each machine's set up like that, so you can isolate individual arms. If you're like, for some reason I think, you know what, if I broke my right arm, I'd still come to the gym to do the left arm workout. It'd be totally fine. It's pretty good, but yeah, I was watching them and they're doing like this little weight routine thing, and they're doing a bunch of reps, and it's like, I literally have twice as much of you guys in each hand, still not giving a shit. Please stop grunting. It's embarrassing, please.
Oh, it's always funny when they try and do your weight. Like, because this was back when I first started playing rugby. I was deadlifting about 180, which is pretty big considering I'm a pretty short guy. I'm sitting there doing that pretty comfortably. I'd done my set. I was going to do 30 seconds break because I'd been doing that for about 4 sets. So I was going to do 30 seconds break, and I was going to lighten it, go for a lighter weight for a bit, then go back to the heavier. And he's just like, oh, fucking wee man, he's done this. I can take no bother. So he's like wrenching his shoulders. You see the veins popping out his neck, and he just goes, gets up for one and smashes it down, then looks at me going, what? I said, I just done that for 40 reps, and you're going to look at me like you've beaten me? Alright then, mate.
I'm not going to lie, the majority of gym is a casual gym. It's not like an elite workout, you need to just be six-pack chiseled to do this thing. So who are they working out for like that? Like, they're always showing off, I go shorts and t-shirt. They show up with the tank top. Are they working out like that for the 30-year-old mum who's on the treadmill?
Yeah, I've noticed that.
60-year-old granny on the bike.
Yeah, I've noticed that in Linlithgow, the Linlithgow gym that you still go to. I'm probably going to go there in a few weeks.
Check it out.
Yeah, just because I need to go back to the gym. The one at Falkirk's always fucking crowded.
I'm slamming several of its patrons, but I go there.
Yeah. In the Linlithgow gym, there's not a lot of, say, fit 20-year-old women. It's always, here's a potentially decent-looking older woman, and here's a lot of very older women who just come in to use the cycling machines before they go for a swim or go and play fucking bingo or whatever the hell they do. Old people stereotypes. Gotta love them.
Yeah.
Like, it makes you think, who the hell are they working out for? Because it's mostly dudes that are in that gym anyway. Are they just showing off to do that kind of alpha male thing? It's like, yes, me lift big weight, me better than wee man with beer, big man with beer better than him.
Maybe it's for later. Maybe it's not about the audience for the workout. Maybe it's about when they end the club.
I hate that fucking club status. It's like, yeah, I'm going to get ripped so I can look good in the club. It's like, who gives a shit? Yeah,
that's why we call them Beach Boys, because they're you can tell they're prepping for MAGA.
Yeah, I'm going to fucking Iron Apple this year, going to look fucking ripped. Sun's out, guns out, cunts. Absolute cunts.
I really hope the mic picked up that first. Cunts. I really hope it did, but yeah, I
just boost it when you go into the editing.
It'll just be really distorted. I can't wait for it.
Awesome. But yeah, one thing I realised, just to kind of segue out of talking about gym stuff, we haven't spoken about it.
It's been an hour, by the way. We haven't done a single geeky thing.
Yeah,
Can we quickly do Sports Corner?
Yeah, we'll do Sports Corner this week. Seen New Zealand lift the Rugby World Cup.
Over Australia?
Australia, because Australia are a bunch of dirty, cheating bastards.
For those of you not keeping score, they did in fact knock us at the Rugby World Cup this year.
By a point and having the ref in their fucking pocket.
And we're not at all bitter about it. That couldn't have worked out better. We never schedule or time these things, but that couldn't have worked out better from my point.
Fucking, I don't even want to talk about that game. But the final...
Please feel free to talk about the final while I pour myself another drink.
Okay, I will riff about the final. Obviously, it was New Zealand versus Australia. It was a really big game for two key players of the All Blacks. One, number 10, by the name of Dan Carter, who's been such a pivotal point of the New Zealand's gameplay this year. He's done fantastic. He won man of the match in his final game, which is it's pretty big for him. It's the sending off that he deserved for just being one of the best rugby players ever. I mean, this side of like the greats like Jonah Lumu and the name of the guy who Matt Damon played in the film Invictus.
That guy's from South Africa.
Yeah, Francois Pienaar. He led the country to victory. He's one of the best rugby players that we will ever see in this day and age. It was a good send-off for him. New Zealand played well. They played classic New Zealand rugby. Australia done their classic bullshit cheating rugby.
Still not mad about it though.
Still not mad about it. They were offside in every fucking ruck. There was hands in the ruck. There was stamping. There was high tackles left, right and centre. Yet Nigel Owens picked up on none of it. The referee picked up on none of Australia's illegal play. But the game didn't go in their favour anyway. There was a few just absolutely stunning intercept tries. Which intercept, as you can think, balls going from left to right from Australia. I think it was the centre for New Zealand. Just read it perfectly. Seen the ball coming from the 10 to one of the centres, picked it up perfectly, grabbed the ball, scored an amazing try from it. So well done, New Zealand. I wouldn't say he's grounded a win. They effortlessly got a win. They made it look pretty effortless. But I will be the first person to put up the hand and say I thought it was going to be a boring final. It was not a boring final.
To be fair, this is like the kind of not quite the El Clasico, but it's New Zealand versus South Africa. I can't. New Zealand versus Australia. I can't do words today. That you know what, it's been a bad day, but this is the one that people kind of look forward to. Is you just kind of wonder when these two are going to play each other. When it's the finals, everybody goes, "Oh yeah, it's going to be a good one."
It's going to be a good. It was a battle to put it quite aptly. It was a fucking battle. But yeah, that ends the Rugby World Cup for another 4 years, and I'm just glad I never have to hear Paloma Faith singing "The World in Union" ever fucking again.
She bad?
Oh, she was fucking terrible. Like, "The World in Union" is a song that is synonymous with the Rugby World Cup, and she butchered it.
So what you're saying is we need to create a list of heavy metal bands that should be playing at some
Ailstorm,
point.
If Scotland somehow get the Rugby World Cup, Ailstorm should sing "The World in Union." I'd fucking love that.
You know they'd sell it out to the Pretenders though.
The Proclaimers.
Don't give a shit. Tell little as shit.
They're Leith's heroes, man.
The best thing to come out of Fife. I don't give a shit. You said it's the best thing to come out of Fife.
I didn't say the best thing to come out of Fife. Leith in Edinburgh.
That's worse than Fife.
Yeah, Fifers. Fucking hate them.
That's hard to hard to beat that.
Yeah, Leith's a pretty rough area in Edinburgh, which is hard to imagine that there can be a rough part of Edinburgh.
Although they do have a very interesting place called the Genghis Khan's, which is Mongolian cuisine.
Oh yeah, I think you've told me about this before.
Good shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Sports Corner isn't over though, because I got to watch some of the it's the American football, the NFL.
Which took place at Wembley.
They had the Wembley game. They had 3 Wembley games this year, and I really get excited because it's one of those like, I can't wait to go to the Wembley. It costs a lot of money. Although it's not that bad this year. There were some tickets for about 60-70 quid.
That's actually not too bad for how much I've been told American football games go for in this area. It's pretty damn good. Considering
it's a one-off game and you're going to get scalped pretty hard, I'd probably consider going to it. However, if you want to talk about great singing, they actually... It's a weird thing of the Wembley games, obviously American teams, each American football game typically starts off with some version of the national anthem. They played it and it was a quartet of people from the British Army. We're very proud of our military over here because, why not? Yeah. And they decided to play the American national anthem through a quartet of brass pieces, and it was really, really good. Although I get the feeling that some history nerd was out there going, I can't believe the British Army are playing the American national anthem in England, and just had his head explode. But afterwards they had a very good rendition of God Save the Queen by it's a thing that came up recently through it was a Christmas charity thing, and it was the British Army Wives, where its members, wives of armed forces members making a choir. Yeah, very good. They do really good choir music.
I'm not a big fan of choir music itself, but just what it was, like British Army Wives coming together and making something like that, it was really, really well put together. And it was
for charity.
Yeah, it was fantastically put together.
But they gave them a chance to sing God Save the Queen at the NFL game. Fantastic. Really, really good. And then we watched, not a surprising game.
Was it what team were you rooting for What was who was playing first and foremost? I don't think you said who was playing.
Detroit Lions versus Kansas City Chiefs. I didn't catch all of it, but I sent out a message earlier saying I'm pretty sure the Chiefs are going to win this.
And are you a Chiefs fan or a Lions fan?
Not particularly. I picked...
You were just watching this because it was an NFL game.
Yeah, I was like, oh, it's the NFL game in London. It's a chance for the Sky Sports team over here to be a bit more involved in the production. They're quite a funny group of guys. Good game, good production. You know, it's always fun to see those. Just the gameplay in London. Just because you get the weird kind of colour commentary of, hi, we're American, we don't know what's going on, but someone offered us a pie and chips. It was fantastic. It was a real good show. But then I sat down and watched some other games because I was not quite hungover, but I was playing video games for 24 hours on the Saturday. This game happened on the Sunday. You need to just kind of sit down and not do shit after 24 hours of video games. And NFL games, pretty good to watch when you're just trying to hangover or just be hungover almost. And I watched the Cincinnati Bengals game against the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I saw a rugby tackle in an NFL game, and it broke the fucking game. I shit you not. Play stopped for, must have been about 2-3 minutes while they stretchered this guy off the fucking field.
As in, like, he went down and hit the knees, or?
No, the ball was in the air. Wide receivers try to pick it out, and he is turned in a certain way, and the defender just nails him right into the stomach, and the guy you see this guy standing up. He's got one hand, he's stretching for the ball. He is kind of making it. You know, it's 50-50 if he's going to catch it. The guy comes in as it hits his hand and just nails the guy in the stomach. You see the shoulder go on the stomach while this guy's in midair, and the guy trying to catch the ball folds over him.
Jeez.
Literally just complete sandwich over the guy's shoulder, and then just knocked the fuck out. Fucking brilliant. And the guy just lying on the ground going, I can't feel my legs. For like about 90 seconds afterwards, they finally stretcher him off and play kind of resumes. And you know what? It's all a fair legal tackle, but no one saw it coming. It's this perfectly timed just kind of smash of just flesh, and it was right after a complete fuck up by the Bengals as well. So it went from being a pretty decent game for them to being a terrifying game for them. Where the Bengals are one of the teams that start really well, but at the end it kind of slips for the last couple of seasons. But they've been getting better. They've been getting really, really good. So they've just kind of been on a bit of an up and down this season. It depends how they hold out in the last kind of 5 minutes of the final quarter. But yeah, just seeing that guy get folded over was fucking brilliant. Saved my Sunday.
Nice. We done?
I think Sports Corner's pretty...
We done with Sports Corner?
Now that several people have been injured and we've made various racist jokes and confused one group of people with another, I think that's a fairly reasonable version of Sports Corner.
Yeah, I think we're done. We covered the main sports news this week. Speaking of something else that I've been quite interested in, Doctor Who Season 9 kicked off 5 episodes ago. I caught up with...
Doctor what?
Doctor Who.
Doctor what?
Doctor Who.
Doctor what?
I caught up with the latest episode of that. I don't even know what episode I think. It was episode 9 or episode 6, whatever the fuck it was. Called The Zygon Invasion. And the Zygon Invasion, it's the whole crux of this is in the movie that they done when they had Matt Smith and David Tennant's Doctor basically save the universe. Before Matt Smith regenerated into Peter Capaldi, they'd done a movie just because they could. David Tennant wanted to do another project with Doctor Who. Matt Smith wanted to do a big movie, and they had John Hurt. Why not do a movie with those 3 people? It's a fantastic movie, but after the whole main plot with Gallifrey is wrapped up, they make it back to Earth, and they find out that Earth has been infiltrated by Zygons, and they think, well, we're not going to kill Zygons because they just want to live. We're going to make them sign a peace treaty. But in doing so, they forget who's a Zygon and who's a human, because the Doctor does some weird magic science, and they forget those that are Zygons that have transferred into humans. They can't remember if they're human or Zygon or not. And same with humans, they can't remember if they're human or Zygon or not.
So rather than eradicate them, he just kind of erases their memory.
Yeah, they're peaceful. They just want a place to live. They're going about it a bit heavy-handed, but they just want a place to live.
Right.
So the Doctor basically sits the two races down, a representative for the humans, a representative for the Zygons, and basically makes them sign a peace treaty. That's what happens in the day in Doctor. It comes the day of the Doctor, and it comes back in this episode, the Zygon Invasion. It's broken down. The Zygons want to be Zygons. They don't want to be hiding out as humans anymore. That breaks down. Humans start going missing. Humans start dying. Blah blah blah. It was,
and only the Doctor can solve it.
Pretty much, yeah. And another episode that I'd like to call The Wasted Potential, because they had this cool thing where they could have had the Zygons. President Obama just all of a sudden changes into a giant red alien. I was a Zygon all along. They could have done something really cool with it, but they'd done something quite boring with it. It starts off, the Doctor and Clara, after previous episodes, and they've had a wee shout, have arrived on Earth, or back on Earth. to
Bristol.
Yeah, Bristol.
Bristol? Yeah, it was filmed in Bristol. It's probably going to appear in Bristol. Same difference.
Pretty much, yeah. They arrive in wherever the hell they're at, and one of the members of UNIT, who is basically Earth's extraterrestrial military,
right?
They're a branch of the military that are designed to specifically deal with shit that the Doctor would usually deal with, but they deal with it when he's not there.
Alright.
And they come to the Doctor, we need your help, something has went down. Basically, he tells them that the Zygons have started killing people, they want their own piece of, or they want the treaty to be renegotiated, and within that, they could have had something where the Zygons have started to kidnap influential people, take their form. Like I said, it could have been you could
have had a bit of espionage into a Doctor.
Yeah, we could have had like Zygon masquerading as President Obama just go, we want the Zygons to be allowed to be Zygons in public. Then everyone around the world goes, what the fuck's a Zygon? Well, shit, you're a Zygon. Then the whole thing becomes unfolded, chaos ensues, the Doctor actually has a real challenge on his hand. But no, they've contained it all within this spoiler-free bubble. The Zygons haven't came out as Zygons, they're still masquerading as humans until their plans come into effect.
That's because CGI is more expensive than paying an actor.
Yeah, that's true. They can have Jenna Coleman play Clara and the Zygon equivalent of Clara, or they can pay someone else to be in a suit and walk a bit saying, I'm Jenna Coleman. Yeah, it was a pretty bad episode, I'm not going to lie. It was better than previous episodes. It was definitely better than the original couple of episodes with like the Fisher King and the ghosts and shit. It was definitely better than that. It wasn't quite as good as the episodes with Maisie Williams. I did prefer those.
I did see she was in there.
Yeah, she showed up, but she's being picked. The whole thing of this series is they're talking about hybrids. Davros appears and he's talking about not the human Dalek hybrid, the Dalek Time Lord hybrid, because he uses part of the Doctor's DNA to revitalise all Daleks and himself, but in doing so he makes him half Dalek, half Time Lord.
Right.
But then Doctor blows up the new Skaro, the new Dalek planet, kills them all. Then he goes forward another few episodes and he meets Maisie Williams' character, who is a Viking girl named Ashilda. There's an anagram in there somewhere, I'm sure. There's something in that name that's leading to later episodes, but I haven't figured it out yet. And she is killed by what were their names? It's like they were called the Bane or something like that, or the whatever the hell they were.
Is that the one you're talking about where it's like, oh, we are the Vikings, and there was another issue like, we are eternal war gods. Yeah. And they were like 9 foot tall battle machines. Yeah. It's in a previous episode.
Yeah, but in doing so, in saving her village, she dies. Then the Doctor finds, I have this convenient life-saving chip that if I put it in your head, or if I make it assimilate with you, it will fix you. But in doing so, it makes her immortal. And then it kind of shows the Doctor catching up with her in a later stage, when she's walking up, when she's a journeyman. She's holding up carriages for money, basically earning a living that way. That was pretty cool because it got to show you the Doctor working with someone quite difficult, who was essentially a Time Lord herself, because she travelled through time, but just the pedestrian way.
She went the slow way.
Yeah, the pedestrian way. And then you get to this episode and it's all kind of, you've built up to this thing that's going to work with Maisie Williams' character, but then you leave that and you go to the Zygon invasion. And the highlight of that so far was the Doctor gets shot down. He's in a airplane travelling back with one of the main Zygon people, or one of the people who was instrumental in making the Zygon treaty. But then you find out that Clara has been kind of body swapped for a Zygon who's taken her form, and she just points a rocket launcher at the plane, blows the shit out of him. Although you're going to get to the next episode and you find out that the TARDIS was conveniently in the plane the whole time, and the Doctor got everyone out safely.
At what point is someone going to fucking die in a Doctor Who story?
I really want that to happen, because Russell T Davies done this fucking perfectly. He killed off characters to make the Doctor realise who he should be. He's a person that needs to save people, but by letting people die, it shows you that the Doctor can't really do everything, but he's going to try his damnedest to. Because in the early episodes with David Tennant, you had quite key characters, or characters that could have been quite pivotal with the story, died. The Doctor having to deal with that. Like in the episode with the Doctor, Martha and Donna land on this alien planet and they get their DNA taken, and they get clones of themselves made from this DNA. The Doctor gets a new daughter, but in the course of that episode, she, air quotations, dies. The Doctor has to deal with that, and it shows you this kind of confrontational side where he points a gun at the antagonist of that episode's head. And then you get the kind of thing, no, I'm the Doctor, I would never use a gun. Then she comes back anyway. Nothing ever happened to that because the actress then got pregnant and married David Tennant, and then that never happened. So
damn.
Yeah, I want Doctor Who to start getting good again. Like more episodes like the one with Maisie Williams. That wasn't too bad.
Do you feel like it's close?
Yeah.
Do you feel like it's getting good?
Yeah, I do feel like it's getting good. It's getting there. With the second part of the Zygon invasion, I think we're going to start picking up the pace, and we're going to get more Russell T Davies like Doctor Who adventures, because they've got a really, really good cast of like really, really good like primary characters and secondary characters. They just need to use them better, a lot better, because right now it is mainly the Doctor, and the whole point of Doctor Who is good to me when the Doctor and his companion are front centre stage. But it seems to me that Clara is just kind of hanging out in the background. But I think the reason why they're making Clara not as big a character is because she's leaving at the end of the season.
All right.
Jenna Coleman, she's got it's either a movie deal or deal for another TV show that is a longer running and probably better role for her, because she's done Doctor Who for almost 5 seasons now. It's probably a decent jumping off point for her.
If she's done it for 5 seasons, she's not getting anywhere, and the writing's going a little bit downhill.
Yeah. And her character's only going to get worse, because it was shaky to begin with. It got good round about Matt Smith, because they were very similar characters. Then you get to Peter Capaldi, there's too much of that confrontation between them. So I think she just needs to cut her losses and say, right, I'm backing out now. I'm leaving respectfully. I've done some good work. I don't think I can top that. I'm going to go and do something else now. Plus, it gives somebody else a chance to fill that role.
For some reason, when you said that Maisie Williams was playing a kind of highwayman at one point, I for some reason jumped into a version of it from Blackadder the Third, which is one of my favourite seasons of Blackadder. The episode where he's dealing with the Shadow, which is a highwayman, but there's a twist reveal where it's a woman.
Oh yeah, I remember that episode now.
But yeah, the episode's called Amy and Amiability, and just for some reason imagine the entirety of that episode with Maisie Williams in it. And now I'm
pretty much kind of how it goes, but with less humour.
Yeah, but I'm now in the mood for another season of Blackadder, and it's never going to happen. Yeah, it's one of the great tragedies of British comedy is that shit will end.
Yeah,
and it's like, I'm sorry, we just don't do this anymore.
I think it's a calling card of a good series and a good writing team and a good acting, like good actors. They know when to quit, because Blackadder could quite easily continue. They've got all the pieces there to make more, but I just don't think it'd be like beating a dead horse. They've done not quite all they could with it, but they've done the best they could with it. And I think it's better to leave it at that than force another couple of shitty specials out of it.
Because the canon of Blackadder, I mean, you could jump back in and go, oh, here's the guy who was in World War II, but after that, like in the 1940s, history gets kind of gritty and kind of unfunny in a way.
Yeah, all credit to Rowan Atkinson, but I don't think he could make certain aspects of the Vietnam War funny. He'd give it a damn good try, but it would still be, but you're talking about people getting burnt alive in the middle of a jungle.
They actually released, for some reason, I think they were talking about a photo of a woman from the Vietnam War who was seen as a kind of symbol for what happened during there. And she was a kid at the time, and we're talking like a 5-year-old. She was running naked towards a cameraman after being hit with Agent Orange, and they took the photo of her. She's just there, a screaming kid who's in a lot of pain, looking for anyone to help her. Absolutely horrific. And that woman actually received laser surgery to remove the skin tissue that was affecting her. Because I was like, it's not painful anymore, but she can't move it as well as natural skin would. She's now undergoing corrective surgery in the US for the wounds that she was afflicted with during the Vietnam War. I happened to tangent those two together. But yeah, I'd kill for another season of Blackadder. Yeah. But I don't know how I get it, and I don't know if I'd be okay with how I get it. Although, for some reason, all the pieces are there, and I don't care if they come back. I'm still perfectly fine with the 4 seasons that I've got on DVD.
It's the same with me and Still Game, which is a huge comedy show over in Scotland, specifically here in Scotland. We've got 6 really good seasons of that, and we've got 4 or 5 good hour-long specials of that.
Yeah.
If they do another season, great, because they're going to make it more of that. They're going to do the same job writing, but if they didn't come back, I'd be very, very happy with the 6 seasons, the hour-long specials, and the live show that they got, which was fucking perfect.
I didn't know if you'd seen it. I didn't go see it because I wasn't that big a Still Game fan. Yeah. But so many people talked about the live show. I went back and watched the original stuff that was on DVD.
Oh, the original stuff was fucking fantastic. It was more like acidic.
For those of you who don't know, Still Game is a series about 2 Glaswegian pensioners who live in the same apartment complex, and it's just literally how do you make jokes as 2 old men in Glasgow, written by guys who are in their 40s. They're very well tried and tested comedians who did a series called Chewing the Fat,
which was like a sketch show back in very, very early 2000s, late 90s.
Yeah, and they developed these 2 characters that were just pensioners in Glasgow. Genuinely some of the funniest stuff that you'll ever see coming out of Scotland. Yeah. There's no doubt about it. It's so relatable, regardless of what age you are. Like, you just look and you go, yeah, you know what, we Neds are we shitheads. Yeah. And you just wanted more of it. But the 2 main guys had a bit of a falling out. Pretty serious.
Everything is sorted now, so I think we might be getting a new season of that sometime soon. But part of the duo is a guy named Ford Kiernan. His son passed away, so I don't think he's going to be jumping in any big projects anytime soon, because that is a huge hole that he's left in his life. Well,
they had a falling out, and I think Ford Kiernan went in the hospital. He had a heart attack, pretty serious. And it made massive national news headlines because it's a national treasure, this show. And they just kind of said, look, it was bad for this guy for a while. And they were chatting at the hospital bedside. And they just wanted to, get back together. Go, bury all the handshake. There was some shit flying between the 2. Maybe let's not focus on that. Maybe try, if you're up for it, let's make some people laugh. And they did live shows at a facility called the SSE Hydro, which is a massive kind of almost like a stadium.
Yeah, I think it'd be
Let's put it this
pretty
way.
apt to call it a stadium.
Slipknot played there.
Yeah.
And it was a packed fucking theatre. Seats about 7,500.
Yeah, I think that'd be right.
It's huge
maybe
capacity.
About 8,000, yeah.
It's probably bigger than that. I don't know, but it's a huge capacity theatre, and it was at the point where people who went to see it, if you didn't get a seat in the first 3 tiers of it, if you're up in the 4th or 5th thing, because it's quite vertical, because they just wanted to try and see how you'd engineer a more vertical stadium for performances rather than just a sports stadium, which needs to be slightly more horizontal, but kind of like a 45-degree angle.
Yeah.
They went with a more vertical design, and they just people on like the 3rd, 4th, and higher stories were like, yeah, it was very like, if you have vertigo, do not fucking go to the SSE because it's terrifying as dicks. So they just kind of they put on a live show there, kind of one more time with the characters, and we were kind of waiting to see what happens coming out of this because it's a fan-fucking-tastic show. But, it's one of those things of, we got what we got out of it, and we're perfectly happy with it. But if we got a few more seasons and it was still as good, we wouldn't,
Even if you come back and do like a Christmas special or a Hogmanay special, that'd be pretty cool. But
they're pretty famous for a Hogmanay special for Chewing the Fat.
but Chewing the Fat is... They've even said themselves they're done with Chewing the Fat. There's no way they're bringing that back. Still, game is kind of enveloped Chewing the Fat anyway.
Interesting.
All the characters from Chewing the Fat, like all those little characters have been made into other characters in Still Game anyway.
And it's much easier to play a narrative with these guys, as well as them having more time to develop one character. It's much better for them.
But yeah, at the end of that, Doctor Who wasn't that great. I do have some gaming news, but it's a game that's been out for a while. So I say a while, it's been about 2 weeks now.
What's your news?
It's a game called The Legend of Zelda Triforce Heroes for the 3DS. Have you heard anything about it?
I know what one of those words might be. Zelda?
Yeah, it's a Zelda game.
That's the prince. I get this wrong.
Zelda's the princess.
Zelda's
that
the
you have to
princess.
save.
Link is the hero.
Yeah, Link's the hero of the Sword and Shield. The whole premise of this game is it's the dumbest, funniest premise I've ever heard. The whole point of it is Link is a travelling adventurer. He goes wherever he's needed. He travels to a realm called Hytopia. And the whole point of Hytopia, or the whole crux of Hytopia, is high fashion. Everyone's very fashion forward. And the princess is called Princess Styla, and she is attacked by an evil witch that steals her style, and then takes it to an area called the Drablands. But to go into the Drablands, you need to be 3 heroes, and they very specifically point out that it has to be pointy-eared, and they have to have a side parting in their hair, and one of them has to be dressed in green. And then Link shows up to town, he's got the pointy ears, a side parting, and he's dressed in green. He's like, oh, you must be one of the legendary totem heroes, because that's the mechanic in the game. You have the totem mechanic, they all stand on each other's shoulders, and they hit switches and throw bombs and fire arrows and shit. Pretty cool.
As far as puns go, that is a very commendable effort to just shoehorn as much shit in as you can.
Triforce heroes, totem heroes, that works. But yeah, when you go to the Drablands, you basically split yourself into... Link gets split into 3 beings, so there's Red Link, Blue Link, and Green Link. They all represent the 3 gods of the Triforce, like the god of wisdom, god of power, god of courage. I can't remember their names. I do know their names, but I can't remember which one's which.
All I want to say is you say they split into the totem hero.
Yeah.
I'm guessing at some point someone referred to them as the totes hero.
Probably. I mean,
are you ready for that? Are you braced for that?
I hope they're braced for it, because they will get a flying boot to the head if they say it in my presence.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, the whole point of this game is you have to go and regain Princess Styla's style. And you have to go into the Drablands and fight through all these dungeons and regain her style, or items of a dress that can remove the curse that she's been stuck to, or that has been cast upon her. But if you take away the story, it's some of the funnest gameplay ever. It's you and 2 mates just running through these dungeons, hacking up monsters, grabbing items, because you don't get items in a traditional Zelda sense where you open a chest, that's your item for the rest of the game. Right. Every time you start a new dungeon, there's 3 items there, and it'll just say it's 2 boomerangs and a bow and arrow. One person picks up the bow and arrow, and usually go for the person who has that equipment, or the equipment that's relevant to the item, because you can get costumes throughout the game. Just so there's a costume called the Kokiri suit, which allows you to shoot 3 arrows instead of 1, so naturally the bow and arrow would go to the guy with that costume, and you can divvy up items like that. It's pretty cool. And the bosses are pretty fun as well, because they all have little unique challenges that you can do. You beat the dungeons once, and you can go back and redo them. Each dungeon has a little challenge for each stage, which I thought was pretty cool, because you can go back and redo them, and you can do it with fewer hearts, or you can do it with the lights turned off so you can't see wherever the hell you're going, and you can do it with no sword, so you've just got to use your item constantly, which is pretty shit if you've got an item like the boomerang, which only stuns. So you've got to find a way to kill this thing using only a boomerang. It's pretty challenging.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I hope the gameplay works, because
it does work.
The plot synopsis kind of sounds like it was written by Kim Kardashian.
Yeah.
She stole my style, now losing all my Instagram followers, i.e. my power.
Summon the three heroes of the internet to save my style.
If it works, it works. Yeah. But right now...
The online gameplay works pretty well if you get a good group. Because like I said, the whole idea of it is the heroes can jump on each other's shoulders to make a totem, and they can reach unreachable items, or you can throw people up onto higher ledges so they can reach the items. You got to imagine in a dungeon crawler, there's a lot of bridges, there's a lot of unguarded ledges. Half of the time you do just get catapulted off into the abyss, and there's just a one character left on the stage laughing his ass off because you get little buttons down the bottom and you can push them, and it'll be like little emojis, little emoticons. It'll be Link giving the thumbs up for a good job, or you can get Link tearing his hair out saying no if you fucked up. There's just one guy spamming the thumbs up button after he's just thrown his other two teammates off the edge. It's pretty trolly.
It sounds like if it wasn't for Nintendo's really, really badly written rules about online publishing of their gameplay content, I'd watch the shit out of videos of it.
Although I know the Completionist, he's posted some gameplay of that. It's like him, Peanut Butter Gamer, and a guy called Pro Jared. They played through a few levels of Triforce Heroes, but I think they only done one video just because it was probably expensive. Because they've done 2 hours of that video.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. I don't want to segue too much off of video games, but there was a horrible story came out about a guy called Jared, who was a spokesperson kind of type thing for Subway. And
I think I know what story you're talking about.
He's under prosecution for sexually molesting several young boys. And the only thing I found really weird about this, I'm not going to talk about the actual issue itself. An undercover agent had to pose as his friend while wearing a wire for 4.5 years.
Jesus.
Fuck. 4.5 years with a paedophile talking about what he's done to kids. How did that guy not just pull out a chainsaw and just murder that guy?
Just pull out the handcuffs and say, right, you're too dangerous to walk about the streets.
No, it wouldn't be a case of we're going to follow legal procedure. I couldn't do that. Yeah. I saw it in a Philip DeFranco video, and my comment was, I cannot believe this guy made it through 4.5 years with this sick fuck and did not just murder him. I don't know how that guy maintained composure for 4.5 years. I just can't believe it. But yeah, I want to skip back to video game news, but I just don't know how to segue this, so I just forced it into Sega has officially apologised for the last couple of generations of Sonic games.
As they fucking should have.
Yeah, we grew up on Sonic.
Boom was god awful.
Yeah, we grew up on Sonic, and watching our favourite 2-dimensional blue hedgehog just kind of shit itself and somehow not die, kind of really horrifying to watch. There were some entertaining moments in Sonic games, but the gameplay itself has been frankly fucking atrocious. I've played some of the newer stuff and just horrible.
I think the last good Sonic Generations was the last good previous generation console one, because that was just, let's pick the best levels of all the previous 3D Sonic games, put them into one game, but then let's bring classic Sonic in there just for the hell of it, and that was a really good game. And then before that, you're talking maybe Sonic Colors, which was just 2D speed action. Great game. Apart from that, I could not genuinely pick a good Sonic game from the past 5 years.
And then the apology features several comments about the fact that they are just not able to translate 2D gameplay to 3D graphics, and it's just not working. Although I don't see why they keep insisting on 3D stuff when you can point to a lot of 2D stuff with a background that hasn't changed much since Sonic, and say, I really like this. I fucking love a game like Rogue Legend, which is all about just being on a 2D control area but having a background that's really interesting and really highly detailed. Why can't you do that with Sonic?
Yeah, some of my favourite games nowadays are 2D side-scrollers, like Shovel Knight, fantastic 2D side-scrolling game. There's a game called, is it Titan Souls?
Don't know.
It was a 2D scroller that was meant to be the Dark Souls of side-scrollers. It was a really, really hard game, but it was a fantastic game.
It's one of the things where a lot of people seem to be throwing themselves into the AAA market and trying to produce a fantastic amount of content and not realising that, we don't really give that much of a shit. We'll take a good game over an expensive game. Like, you have to spend a lot more money to translate to 3D. Like, it's not easy, I'm adding an extra dimension, I'll add a third of the price. It becomes much more complicated when you add 3D elements into a game. Yeah. Especially, gamers break games, there's no doubt about it. you add an extra dimension, that's a whole other dimension we can fuck with. Don't even think about it, we will just tear that thing apart.
What really confuses me is how Sonic Team and Sega are racking their brains trying to figure out a way to translate a 2D character into a 3D character. I mean, they could just as easily have left them a 2D character and made like fully fleshed out 3D worlds but in a 2D environment. Like what they did with Sonic Colors, and like what they're doing with Sonic the Hedgehog 4, which was a fully fleshed out 3D game but from a 2D perspective. It's a fantastic game. Just keep giving us more of that. This is what made you billions back in the day. Give us more 2D Sonics. Fuck 3D. No one gives a shit about 3D Sonics.
We've played so many 3D games, I don't need another 3D game, even if it is Sonic, even if it is my favourite childhood hero. We can ignore 3D, and I think it was a myth kind of perpetrated by the industry that everything needed to be 3D, and they got kind of pulled into it. Although they do still believe
that came about as a direct competition as a result of the direct competition they have with Nintendo. Nintendo took Super Mario 64. So Nintendo took Super Mario, put him on the Nintendo 64.
I mean bigger than Sega versus Nintendo. I mean that we switched to first-person shooters and 3D became so important. Then people thought, well, we have a good physics engine, why don't we try this for adventure-style games? 3D adventure became a bigger deal than, say, your kind of 2D control space with a 3D background. You'd have that be a bigger part of it. People just wouldn't do 2D games anymore. Whereas if they just stuck to their guns, it's one of those things of we wouldn't know what would happen because we live in the world where Sonic went 3D. If Sonic had went 2D, would it be considered lacking in innovation, therefore not supported enough by the industry to make it as good, but would still have been maintained by the core fans? Whereas now, they've lost all the core fans.
I think it would, if they stayed 2D, the fans would have backed it, and then gaming companies would just have looked at it and said, well, the fans like it, we're going to keep it going. They like it, fair enough. Companies might not like it, but it's making them money so they can suck it up. It's the move to 3D is what put the fucking bullet in Sonic's head. They tried to take a successful 2D character, translate it to 3D, and it's done very, very, very poorly.
It didn't work out for them even at all, but they did turn around and say, we have gotten things wrong, we are sorry, can we try again? So we are hoping to see something new from the Sonic team. I really don't care which way it goes, I'm willing to let it happen and see what happens, because I'm not going to lose money to it.
Yeah, that's true.
But if we get a couple decent Sonic games, I'll give them a few more. I mean, I haven't played Sonic for a long, long, long while because of these recent 3D fuck-ups. But if they can translate properly into a two-dimensional control character, I don't care. I'll come back to Sonic.
It kind of makes me really, really sceptical about what's going to happen with the alleged Crash Bandicoot remake, or next Crash Bandicoot game. Because they're going to do, I mean, since E3 about 2012, there's been little hints of a Crash Bandicoot game coming to current generation consoles. I just don't want them to fuck it up, because Crash Bandicoot has such a rabid fan base that if this fucks up, Sony will be buried.
I'm not gonna lie, right now I'd murder at least 10 people to get a good Crash Bandicoot game on a next gen console. Don't ask why. I just love Crash Bandicoot.
It's simple. You don't need a reason to. Love Crash Bandicoot.
He spins, he eats apples, and he wears a giant creepy, Hawaiian tiki mask.
That's what's really bugging me about games nowadays. They all need to have some deep narrative where everything's explained and everything's deep and meaningful. No, they don't. Just have simple, fun gameplay. Like back in the day, Streets of Rage on the Mega Drive. That was just walk from point A to point B, beat up bad guys, pick up items. That was the whole point of that game, and it was fucking
even
amazing.
Point A to point B, because you have to explain what point A and point B was. That was go
left
right
side of the screen to the right side of the screen. That was the whole point of the game.
Just keep punching things. So simple.
Sonic, go from left to right, collect rings, jump on the heads of robots. Simple premise. Spyro the Dragon, burn things, collect gems, end the level. There was a bit of story to that, but no one ever picked up on it, and if they did, I sure as hell didn't.
I remember a bunny woman called Bianca and nothing else.
I remember Sparky, the little dragonfly thing.
That guy was a dick. No, I don't remember why, but I just get the feeling that guy was a dick.
No, it was Moneybags. I always fucking hated Moneybags.
Moneybags was said to make him some money, and then for some reason you just rammed that guy in the ass with your horns and just said...
I used to set him on fire quite a lot.
Because you could. NPCs weren't aggressive. They were just kind of, hi, would you like me to open the portal? And you'd say, yes, you're going to open the portal, but once I exit out the menu and just set fire to you for a good 5 minutes because I like the sound of your screaming.
Yeah, because setting you on fire is going to be funny. As soon as you just robbed me for about 90,000 gems. I remember he always had ridiculous amounts. Oh, you want this portal open? 40 gems. And you just started the game, you had 41 gems. Always remember that. Fucking annoyed me.
The guy was a right prick. And it was fun to set him on fire, and we're missing that kind of weird narrative of just, it's a purple dragon talking to his cheetah friend about how they need to get more gems for
Or how
a bear in a top hat and a monocle.
Yeah.
Where is that
Yeah,
nowadays?
where's just dumb fun video games? Everything needs to be your Call of Duties or even your Dark Souls, which is the lack of colour. Even though Dark Souls is a fun game, it's just the lack of colour and this deep story-driven.
Hey, none of that
Gameplay.
makes sense, okay? It's a great game, but none of it makes any fucking sense.
I was about to say deep story-driven narrative for Dark Souls, but fucked if I know what the story for Dark Souls is.
I do, and I don't know why I care, because the entire point of the story, spoilers, is that none of it matters. History is going to repeat itself. It doesn't matter what you do. You're fucked.
Yeah, that was the whole point. Just make these choices. Doesn't fucking matter.
Because at some point you're going to hit New Game Plus, and you know what? That's the next cycle of this story.
It just keeps you going.
Yeah,
Speaking of games, I actually watched a full Let's Play of Until Dawn. That game is not as terrifying as people make it out.
Who did you watch?
I just a random YouTuber. I can't even remember the name. It was just non-director channeled YouTuber.
No surprise to say I watched the Achievement Hunter version. And I did find it was good, and I imagine you could immerse yourself into it.
It does get very, very cheesy at points. Like the whole opening segment. Because I watched the opening bit on Renegade for Life.
Right.
With Vegeta from Team 4 Star. And he walked it through, and it's the bit when the girl is undressing for the guy, and then she hears one of the other girls under the bed giggling. She's like, "Oh, you fucking asshole." Then she runs out of the cabin. You're in the middle of fucking nowhere in a wintry setting, and you're going to bolt out of here. Nothing, like no jacket or anything on, in the middle of the cold, and there's people running about outside your cabin. That aligned well. It got pretty cheesy for me at points.
It's horror game logic. It's horror movie logic presented in a video
It's very
game.
horror tropish.
Yeah, it goes for it, and it wears its heart on its sleeve, but at the same time, it's very fun.
Yeah, it's just dumb. If you want to be harking back to 80s horror films, play this game.
If you want to be really annoyed at the lack of Hayden Panettiere naked, play this game, because that towel scene is now legendary. The fact that she wears a towel running from a serial killer and it does not fucking budge. We're talking about her jumping over obstacles, or about her rolling under a bed. She falls down a mine shaft, not even in it slip, just perfect
One
towel
thing I will
control.
say about the motion capture for Until Dawn, it has some of the most perfect digital arses I've ever seen. Like when the two twins are running away at the start of the thing, it's just like the camera's following them at the back. God damn, someone took effort to sculpt all those things out.
There is a lot of booty in that video, in that video game. Although annoyingly, it's actually pretty good. I really like it. Have you seen it all the way through?
Yeah, I've seen it all the way through. The ending kind of it's so obvious how the ending is. If you've watched any horror films, it's so fucking obvious.
Oh yeah, but this is the thing. This is how we translate a horror game into a horror movie into a video game.
Yeah.
And funnily enough, there's two things about it. There's a sequel coming to or not quite a sequel. There's another Until Dawn game coming to VR for Sony's VR. It's now, I think it's now referred to as Sony's VR. It was Project Morpheus for a while.
I thought that was the name they went with, Morpheus.
I think it's one of the things where it's it's Project Natal. No, it's the Kinect now. It's just a rebranding at the end before they ship it out to make it sound a bit cool. But I think it's now referred to as Sony VR or PlayStation VR, and it's pretty decent looking. It's going to be it's going to be attached to certain parts of the main Until Dawn experience, reworked for VR. I'm not entirely sure how it works. It appears
is it just a remake for virtual reality, or
I'm not sure. We have so little details, but for some reason the word rail shooter keeps coming up. Ooh, yeah. Big fan of Time Crisis, not a fan of that in 2015.
Nah, rail shooters were they only really work in my head if it's an arcade cabinet. Like if you're going to your cinema and you're picking up a light gun that's attached by a big steel cable to an arcade machine, that's how rail shooters work for me. They don't really translate too well to a console. Yeah,
I'm not entirely sure how they're going to pull it off, but I totally forgot the other point. Oh, but that's what it was. Actually, you were talking about Team Fortress Renegade for Life.
Yeah.
And they actually put out an apology video.
They did?
Because they are not going to show the next episode of Hellsinger Bridge. It was supposed to be on Halloween.
Yeah, they show the stupid thing they've done. They show it every Halloween, and it's been going for 6 years now.
Yeah,
they on episode 6.
They managed to crank out a bunch of episodes for Halloween, and they decided that they were going to do one this year. Unfortunately, Takahata 101, who is the guy who does a lot of work behind the scenes for Hellsinger Bridge, didn't make it this year. He has been busy. He's got personal issues. He's trying to move house.
Who does Takahata 101 voice in Team 4 Star?
He's Alucard on the Hellsinger Bridge. He's a lot of people. I'm pretty sure he's Krillin. If I look at Takahata 101 on what his page is, he does a lot. So.
Because I know Lani Pator, he's Vegeta. I think he might be Krillin as well. I'm not sure. That's going to bug the hell out of me.
Okay, so on DBZ Abridged, he voices the characters of Nappa, Guru, Dende, Goldo, Bardock, the Aurelian King, Purunga. He's Cell, by the way.
Cell,
so he's getting worked the shit out of him in the current series because the Cell is fantastic. Fucking love the way they're doing Cell. Lord Slug, Elder Murray, and Ginger. So yeah, and on Hellsinger Abridged, he is the writer and voice actor, and he's doing Alucard. And they can't make the deadline this year of Halloween, which they announced the day before Halloween. They said, look, the episode is not going to be out. However, we are very sorry. Episode will be out in mid-December. Also, we're now going to focus production on that because we have Team 4 Star doing the Dragon Ball Z, and we have our machine ready to keep going with that. We will now be putting more effort into Hellsinger Abridged and doing 2 episodes a year. So the abridging process for those guys is going to improve dramatically. I can't wait for it. I love the Hellsing anime. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's completely nuts and insane.
Yeah. I mean, the show itself is pretty nuts and insane.
So then someone coming along and redubbing it with just the dumbest or funniest thing they can think of, absolutely fantastic. And these guys are doing a really great job. It's all the kind of production value of the newer Dragon Ball Z Abridged, but put into a slightly different anime, slightly darker, slightly more twisted, and they just kind of use that setting to just kind of run with the darker, funnier jokes, and they just kind of nail it every time. But it's a shame that we're not going to get the episode for another 6 weeks. I can't believe it. I just sit there.
Yeah, but they have quite a long production process anyway, so you kind of got to imagine there's so many things up in there because they're trying to do more Dragon Ball Z as well.
Yeah.
So,
but they did go Patreon support, and the thing is, you look at me, you can clearly tell they feel so guilty about it. They're like, we're so sorry, we fucked up, we didn't get it in time. The apology video is kind of like done with their Team 4 Star News style, where it's like a fake cut-out version of them on a stick, which is really funny. It's like them doing like puppet theatre with their own faces, and saying, "Oh, we're so sorry about this." Like, here's how. This is what the next 6 weeks of releases is. Like, we're going to do this on the gaming channel, and then we're going to do this with their main production. And you can tell they just feel really bad about it, like letting down the fans, and they had 2 of them come on to apologise for it personally, and like, that takes some balls. And, hats off to them. If they want to delay production because of personal issues, we can relate to that. We've missed an episode due to personal just not being in the same room at the same time.
Yeah, schedules and shit conflicting constantly.
Shit happens, and apparently the guys try to move from Vancouver to Toronto. That's like several thousand miles. That's a trick. That is across from east to west coast USA within Canada, and I wouldn't want to do that. But he's had issues on various things, and if he wants to take the time to get it right, he just can't do it for some reason, but like there's something that's just blocking him from doing it. I'd prefer to see him do it right and fucking nail it.
Yeah.
Like he's done it 6 previous times, than to see him just kind of burn out and not do it properly.
Like phone it in and make it a really shitty episode.
Because once it's out there, it's done. Like you'd never see like a redo of an episode.
Yeah. From
these guys. Once it's out there, it's done. Fuck it. If he has to do it right, he's got to do it right. So I'll wait another 6 weeks. Yeah. Although it does mean I could sit back and watch Hellsing Abridged on Christmas. Yeah, if I just wanted to save it, it'd be pretty cool. Although the 3 people at work that I talked to this type of shit about, we've all talked to each other about it and how we're so excited for it, and we need to then wait until Christmas or until mid-December. We're just kind of sitting there going, "Oh, please, come on. We want one more episode. I want it right now." So yeah, we're gonna have to sit and wait for another episode of our favorite, drug addicted, over sexualized vampire slaying other vampires.
I'm still gonna have to. I still have not found a copy of Resurrection F, so I'm gonna have to wait February next year until I get it, which is the biggest shit.
Until February? Why?
Yeah, I don't know. It's only been released on Amazon and Zavi.
Oh, so we get digital copies.
You could probably get a digital copy, but I'd rather have a boxed Blu-ray version. I mean, I think it's going to just get to the point. If I have money left after, say, Christmas, I'm just going to go into that otaku.co.uk and buy the £38 special edition. But the only problem is it might be region locked for US machines, which would be a shit.
Well, speaking of Funimation, apparently, it's just my friend has seen this, on the director's commentary of Hellsing Ultimate, which is the newest version, like an up-res, remastered version of the Hellsing series, the director's commentary calls out Takahata 101.
Really?
Yeah, the director says, like, because they've worked with Funimation. A couple of the guys were actually in Resurrection F. A couple of guys from Team 4-Star, yeah. They were voicing, like, it's literally just a case of bit characters for fans.
Yeah, because I know they were in Dragon Ball Xenoverse as well.
Yeah.
They were like one of them was voice 8, the other one was voice 12.
Well, they did Ghost Nappa. Ghost Nappa made it from the show into the voiceover arrangements for Xenoverse. But they've worked with Funimation before, and as a joke, he calls them out on the last episode. Because the last 3 episodes of Hellsing Abridged or Hellsing Ultimate apparently were done in like 3 months, which is fucking impressive. That's like a 3-month constant crunch time because the delays in getting licensing rights and whatever from Japan to America. There was some issues and they wanted to put it out as fast as possible with the best quality, so they spent 3 months in crunch time just cranking out an episode and just getting it right. And I still need to own the DVDs, so I'm just going to go probably buy them the second we finish recording. Yeah. But we have, like, apparently he name drops and says, yeah, I know there's some guy who's abridging this online. And I gotta say, you guys do 1 a year. I just did 3 in 3 months. 3 of 3 months, half an hour anime. And I've seen the last episodes with the, Japanese with English subtitles. It's a lot to work on.
Yeah.
It's a lot of very interesting character stuff you gotta get right with voiceover and stuff like that. So, I can't wait for it. I can't wait for the chance to finally see the English version of the original series and then watch it abridged. Yes. If I'm lucky, they might kind of coincide. Just have me sitting here in a vampire. I mean, this is our post-Halloween episode, but I'm not sitting here in a Dracula cape. But once I see that, I probably will.
Might bring the, shave your beard and stuff, so it's just a little goatee, point and stash thing.
I don't know if I could do that. I'm still going on with the charity beard growing, and it's getting back to where it was before. It's a little better, a little bit better, a little bit not as good. So just kind of waiting on it. I still have 2 more weeks until we're at the same point. I think we went for 6 weeks before. No, about a month.
I think it was about that 6 weeks. Yeah, before you shaved it last time.
Yeah, so I need to just kind of keep going and persist with what's going on with the facial hair and see what happens. So I'll just wait and see what happens. I don't know if I keep it for 3 months. Will I be too attached to remove it?
I think you'll be too used to having that there that you'll probably just keep it. Because that's what happened to me. I just grew it in for a bit and it's like, no, this is shit. But I'm going to keep it anyway. I'm going to battle through that awkward stage.
I do start getting the weird beard feelings of I walked into a chill at work where it's obviously like it's a walk-in refrigerator basically. Yeah. And I went, oh man, my face is really cold suddenly. But not part of it. And I realised the exact part, like the outline of what was still warm, was the beard. I quite like it. It's got its benefits. And as somebody who walks to work in shorts and t-shirts, even during the winter, I think I'll appreciate it this year.
Yeah, that's one thing that's really beginning to bug me. The shorts that I'm wearing just now, it's a pair of rugby travel shorts from a company called Macron. They do really good tracksuit trousers and shorts and stuff. I've been wearing these a lot more lately just because fuck jeans.
Are you in that stage as well?
Fuck jeans.
I am a human radiator. I just generate heat. Yeah. And I cannot be bothered wearing full-length trousers anymore.
It's just I'm a sweaty guy. If I walk from here to the train station, I'm a sweaty dude. So just having that extra bit of aeration about the legs helps to kind of ease that situation off. But yeah, I've been wearing these a lot to college, and it's been getting colder lately in Scotland. When winter hits us, winter fucking hits us. So I walked into college when it was raining, and everyone's like, "Oh, you know, freezing." I'm like, no, I'm fine. Literally, do not feel the cold.
It's a strange thing, and a lot of people complain about it. Circulation is key.
Yeah.
I can't explain this enough. Some people wonder how I do certain things. I'm like, it's literally circulation. Yeah. There's no fucking around in this one. You just kind of have to circulate blood around your body. It gets to go from the core to the limbs effectively. I'm working it while I'm doing that. Just try and avoid the
only problem I have. Yeah, avoid the beach cunts. Just the only problem I have.
I was going with the beach boy brigade. You're like, nah, avoid those fucking cunts.
Avoid those beach cunts. No, the only problem I have during the winter, I could walk about with just a short and t-shirts on and be fine, but it's my hands. I have very poor circulation in my hands. It gets to the point where my hands get that cold that they get stiff and I can't write or anything. It happened quite a few times at college last year. I'd walk up to college and during the snow, because we did have a bout of snow last year, I'd get off the train and then my hands would just be numb from walking up there, being constantly battered by the wind. I'd go to write my name in college and it'd be like a struggle to write it. My hand would go like weird and crabby. And you're like having to write out Dom Anderson, then it looks like you've tried to write your name twice because your hand's shaking that much. That's the only part of my body that's got poor circulation.
I don't know what that's about.
I mean, neither. Just as everyone else, I could be walking about in my rugby shorts, which are shorter than normal short, in like just a tank top, I'd
Yeah.
be warm, but my hat from the wrist down, my hands would be freezing.
Well, we'll try and figure out Don's strange medical condition. But until then, I've been Colin Graham.
I've been Dom Anderson,
And we've been talking
desperately needing a piss for the past hour.
Yeah, I haven't noticed that at all. I can't wait to edit this one.
No, leave it in. Just leave my fidgeting noises in.
I probably can't take them out. Until then, until the next episode, we've been talking Gibberpish.
Yes, we have. Let me go pee now, damn it.
I'm about to burst.